What's up everyone, Mike here from The Art of Guitar, here with what I think might be my easiest video ever to make. Yesterday I spent all day working on this video for the red pedal that you may have seen, and today I'm just doing a video on something that I've been studying all my life, and it just keeps happening in my life where I'm realizing that you can either take two ways to approach something, in this case guitar. And for much of my guitar career, I've been on the defensive. And that's not bad when you're first starting out, because what I mean by that is when you're a defensive guitar player, you almost hope everything goes right. You know, you play but real carefully. You're doing all the right stuff, most likely, but you're kind of tentative when you're playing. So if there's a big solo and everyone's looking at you and you're trying to do your best, it's really easy to just overthink and to hope everything goes right. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to play a solo in defensive mode, and then I'm going to switch to what finally came to me after about 20 years of playing. It took a long time. But then one day I just realized, you know, I've always been defensive when I played, and I had to flip the switch is a good way to put it. I just flipped the switch inside, and suddenly I had a brand new attitude. And that attitude when you go offensive is, I know I can do this. I've done this many times and I have all this experience. It's almost like you finally allow yourself to be your true self and to play up to your capacity or up to your ability. And so there was just one day where a switch went off and I was no longer hoping a note worked. I was pretty much just expecting it to work. And that allowed me to play in what I call the offensive side of things. So instead of being, oh, I hope this works, it was, this is going to work and you're all gonna like it, basically, is what I was thinking in my head. And it's so strange how what you feel inside when you play translates to the audience. It's really strange. So real quick, let me just show you the two examples of it. And at the end of this solo, it's a solo I've played a lot, especially recently, but at the end there's a slide, and I used to hope I hit the right note when I slid. And a lot of the times that caused me to overthink and miss the last note. Now when I expect it happens 99% of the time the way I want to, and when it doesn't, I'll show you a little trick of what I do. Okay, so here's an example of defensive playing. It's kind of hard to fake it now that I've flipped the switch inside, but I'll try to go back to my old mindset, okay? Hoping that I play everything correctly. Okay, did you feel the tentative nature of that? It was almost like I was on a tightrope trying not to fall from one side or the other to one side or the other. I was really balancing and hoping I hit all the notes right. So there's a lot of wishing and hoping going on. It's a very weak way to play. And by the end of the show, if you feel that way the whole time, you feel like you've just been holding your breath the whole time. It's a terrible feeling and it gives you anxiety. You don't even want to play live anymore if you play like that all the time. So eventually you got to get to the point where you flip the switch, like I said before, and suddenly you expect things to work for you, and you just do your best, and you know it's going to work most of the time. And I'll show you at the end my little trick, but I'm going to play the offensive version of this. Don't think I'm just playing harder or anything like that. It's really just a confidence thing that happens, and a lot of things change when you flip the switch. Here we go. It's a little more different. You know, you could say the second one was just more expressive, more aggressive. But when you're more confident, you take those chances because you're not afraid to. You know, if you're just trying to hit the right notes, like that slide at the end, for example, it's real easy to just kind of hope it's there, and then it tightens you up and it changes a lot of things about your playing. Let's just take that very end one time. Let's do the defensive way to do it. You know, kind of, I don't know, I'm exaggerating, but it just feels like I'm hoping it works. Here's the offensive way to do it. So you almost have to practice it with confidence like that. And yeah, some people might say fake it till you make it, but that will only get you so far. You still have to have the practice time to back it up to get to the point where you're actually confident. But yeah, it might give you a little bump right away if you just do a little bit of faking. Like, I don't care what happens, I'm just going to hit this and feel good about it. And you'll see the results from that. Also, if you do happen to, this might give you a little weird confidence just because you know you always have a safety net. If you ever slide up to a note and not quite get there, try bending it. That's a good secret. So if you're going, I've done that live many times. It's kind of like a bailout procedure, hitting the eject button, but it's just bending half a step. It depends where you land. Hopefully it's just a half step. If you go a whole step or more, you've totally undershot it, so that's not good. And if you accidentally go too far, seems like a big stretch, but it can work. And you have a trem bar, use that to go the other direction. You know, you really have to catch it fast because it's going to sound a little bit strange, and then you have to coax it back to where it's supposed to be. Or, no, there's no shame in just coming back one half step. But I'm a bigger believer in sort of selling it if you're playing live and there's a lot of attention on you at that particular moment. Going like this is a little obvious. You know, it's kind of obvious you made a mistake. But if you sell it with the trem bar, it's a little bit more convincing, I guess you could say. Either way, those are not ideal. Those are just little tricks if you happen to miss the mark at the end. But, you know, the more you practice your slides, the better you're going to get. And I'll do a whole video on how to aim your slides in the future, okay? Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys, you know, boost your confidence a little bit. Remember, it does take a lot of practice to get to the point where you're ready to flip the switch. You can't be completely, you know, untrained on the guitar and then flip a switch. It's not going to, nothing's going to happen when you do flip the switch. It's not going to flip. So what you want to do is you want to build up to the point to where you're finally ready to flip the switch. But it's funny, a lot of people are already there, but they haven't flipped the switch yet. So they might be skilled, ready to go on the offensive, but they don't realize that they're still in the defensive mode. So I'm hoping this video helps people in that situation. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video, and I will catch you soon. Thanks. Bye.